Hello, everyone. It's Maxine with a Metanoia Life. It's Sunday, and today I have some takeaways from my Sunday sermon at church. As you know, if you've been following me, that we are doing the 10 Commandments, God's top 10. And this week we had commandment number 2, which is about not worshiping idols. And the scripture that was the main scripture was from Exodus 20, verse 1 to 6. And it says, "And God spoke all these words, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an image in the form of anything in heaven above, or on the earth beneath, or in the waters below. You shall not bow down to them or worship them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, punishing the children for the sin of the parents to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me, but showing love to 1,000 generations of those who love me and keep my commandments." So, idolatry, according to my pastor today, is the worship of someone or something other than God as though it were God. So that could be your job, it could be your spouse, it could be your children, it could be your house, your car. Anything that takes the place of God in your life is an idol. And the heart of idolatry is unfaithfulness to God. So if you put anything before God as an idol that you worship, that's being unfaithful to God, because He wants to be number one. You were created by God on purpose and for a purpose, and that purpose is to worship Him and Him alone. So we can have other things in our lives that we love, that we enjoy, but they are not to take the place of God in our hearts. God needs to be first place in our hearts, and He alone needs to be worshiped. So, what does it really mean to worship that thing? Or who should we be? Romans 12:1 says, "I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship." So offering yourself in whatever you do, whatever you say, that's how we worship God. When you're on your job, that's worshiping God. When you're out and about, that's worshiping God, because it's you and it's whatever you're putting your life, your body into. That's worshiping God. Worship is not a song that you sing, it's the life that you live. It's the life of honoring God. That's worship to God. So don't let the things that you have or don't have determine whether you are going to worship God. If you're somebody who has nothing, you should be able to worship God just as easily as somebody who has everything. The Apostle Paul says that he has known life with things and without things, and it has made no difference to him to how he thinks or worships God. So he said 3 things to avoid idolatry in your life. Number 1 is recognizing God as your provider. If you do not recognize God as your provider and you think your job is your provider, or whatever you're getting your finances from, that's your provider. No, God is your provider. Number 2, God alone is your source. So your job is not your source. Your parents are not your source. Your spouse is not your source. Whatever way that you're being provided for, that's not the source. God alone is your source. Wherever it's coming from, God is the source. And number 3, God alone is worthy. Nothing else is worthy of that place of honor in your life. God alone. So, something to think about this week. What are we idolizing in our lives? What are we putting in place or before God in our lives? Is it more important to be out and about doing things rather than spending time honoring God, spending some time with Him in meditation, in prayer, putting Him first every day, giving Him even 10-15 minutes every day before we start our day, just saying, God, you alone are number one, and I give you this time to honor you before I start my day. So just something to think about this week as we go into the last week in April. Oh my goodness. Hard to believe that it's the last few days of April, actually. So tomorrow is Monday. Join me tomorrow morning at 6 for Monday meditation. It's not going to be long. It's never usually long, 10 or 15 minutes, where we set the tone for the day, for the week, something to take you through, to meditate on, to fill you up with worship, and to keep God first place in your thoughts for the week. So continue to have a beautiful Sunday. It's beautiful outside where I am. It's getting really hot, but it's still bearable to be outside. Summer is here, but not the height of summer yet, thank goodness. So we'll talk again soon, and I'll see you tomorrow morning for Monday meditation. Be blessed from my heart to yours.